All right, let's dive into something everybody's talking about. Weight loss drugs. Specifically, Ozempic. You've seen the headlines, right? Heard people buzzing about it. We're cutting through the hype today, getting you the real story.
Absolutely. There's a lot to unpack here. We could be looking at a whole new era of weight loss, but like anything in medicine, you got to look at it from every angle.
No sugarcoating, I like it.
Hmm.
Let's start with the excitement. One UK study blew me away. People on Ozempic lost almost 15% of their body weight, and that was over 68 weeks. We're not talking about dropping a dress size. This is like a whole new you.
It's huge. And other research backs it up too. A U.S. study found people losing over 12 kilos in just 6 months. But the really exciting part isn't just the number on the scale, it's what that change can mean for your health overall.
Okay, so forget fitting into those old jeans. What kind of health benefits are we talking?
This is where it gets really interesting. Even losing a little weight, like 5%, can drastically change your risk for things like heart disease, diabetes. The studies on Ozempic show improvements in blood pressure, blood sugar, even cholesterol.
Wait, so this isn't just about looks. It's about tackling a bunch of health problems at once.
Exactly. It all comes down to this.
Yeah.
As you lose weight, your body gets better at using insulin that's key for controlling blood sugar. That helps your heart, your cholesterol. It's a ripple effect. We're not putting a Band-Aid on the problem, we're going for the root cause.
That's huge. Like hitting the reset button on your health. People are even saying they have more energy, they're moving better. Oprah, for example. It's like a turning point, not just for how you look, but how you feel, even mentally.
That's a really important point.
Hmm.
Everyone's experience is different, but the research is showing improvements in how people function physically and even in their mental well-being with Ozempic. Makes sense, right? When you're healthier, more comfortable with your body, it changes your whole outlook.
It's that feeling of being back in control. But let's be real, there's always another side. What are the downsides, the things we need to watch out for?
You're absolutely right. Transparency is key. Let's discuss that. Well, the most common side effects with Ozempic are, in the gut nausea, sometimes diarrhea, constipation. Not fun, especially at first.
Yeah, not exactly something you want to talk about at a party. But you said usually temporary.
Exactly. More like speed bumps, not a dead end.
Yeah.
Usually mild, and they tend to go away as your body gets used to it. But got to stress this, talk to your doctor all the way through. Super important. Another common one is fatigue. Some people get that.
Okay, so manageable, but good to know about. What about the more serious stuff, though? What are we talking about there?
So less common, but a few things to keep in mind. Some studies have shown a slight uptick in gallbladder problems, like gallstones, in people taking Ozempic.
And how are those usually handled? Medication usually does the trick.
Right, yeah. Regular checkups, even more important on Ozempic. Catching it early makes all the difference. Another one, rare but manageable, is pancreatitis. That's inflammation of the pancreas. Good news is most people make a full recovery.
Okay, not common, but something to watch out for. What about this whole mental health thing? There's been a lot of talk about that lately.
You're right, we have to talk about it. The FDA even looked into a possible link between Ozempic and serious mental health problems, like, even thoughts of suicide. But they didn't find a direct link.
So nothing saying Ozempic causes these issues directly.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But got to be cautious, especially if there's a history of mental health stuff already. Being aware and talking to your doctor, that's key. They can help you weigh the good against the bad based on your own situation.
Sounds like personalized care is really important with all of this. Okay, let's switch gears a bit, talk about getting your hands on this drug. Lots of headlines about shortages. Who can even get it? What's the deal?
That's a big one. Really shows how complicated this is. So right now, Ozempic is approved by the TGA, that's Australia's medical board, for treating type 2 diabetes, not just losing weight.
So kind of gray area.
Yeah, you could say that. And that's where some of the problems come in. It's not officially approved for weight loss, so getting it can be tough. And yeah, there've been shortages.
I bet that's frustrating for people who really need it. Especially, folks who depend on it for their diabetes.
Exactly. It's a big deal. Brings up questions about who gets access, how much it costs, the ethics of it all. And then there's the whole marketing thing, potential conflicts of interest. Can't ignore that.
Right, like those stories about researchers getting money from the company that makes Ozempic. Makes you think twice.
It does. Bottom line, got to be smart about the information we're getting, especially when it comes to our health. Who's paying for the research? What are other people saying? And most importantly, talk to your doctor.
Couldn't agree more. So, all things considered, what's the takeaway here? What are we left with?
Ozempic, it's definitely promising, right? Could be huge for weight loss, maybe for other health problems too. And it's a big but it's not a magic solution.
No magic bullet, no shortcuts. Got to put in the work for a healthy lifestyle.
Exactly. Working with your doctor, can't stress that enough. They can help you figure out if it's right for you, watch for any problems, make sure you're making the best choices for your own body.
Sounds like we're still in the early stages, really figuring out what this drug means in the long run. Not one size fits all, needs careful thought, and talking to your doctor is key.
I'm with you on that. This is really just the beginning. We're talking about using meds to help with weight and everything that goes along with it. Still, so much to learn.
So much to think about. It's like opening a door to a whole new world, but we got to be careful, got to stay informed.
Well said. And that's where you come in, the listener. Ask the tough questions, do your research, talk to your doctor. This is your health, your journey. The more you know, the better decisions you can make.
This deep dive has been eye-opening, that's for sure. What's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
Here's the thing. Ozempic, it's got potential, but it's not a replacement for taking care of your whole self. No easy answers. What works for one person might not work for another.
Right. It's about knowing your options, the good and the bad, and making choices that are right for you with your doctor's guidance.
Exactly. And this is just the start of the conversation. New research is coming out all the time. We're always learning more about these medications.
So stay curious, stay informed, and keep those questions coming. What other questions has this deep dive sparked for you? This is just the beginning of your exploration. Thanks for joining us.